You know, I haven't done my homework. Hey, everybody. My name is Linda Murray Bullard. They call me the business plug. And as long as you see this little short intro right here, you know I haven't done what I'm supposed to be doing. I'm supposed to make that whole 1 minute thing. And I haven't thought about it. And every time I come on here, I'll be thinking, oh, I got to do that. I will get it done today. In fact, I'm going to say, Alexa, remind me to do my intro at 5 o'clock tomorrow. So that way I'll have it done. Because things are going, things are going and going and going.
Or in the afternoon.
In the afternoon.
Okay, I'll remind you tomorrow at 5 p.m.
I'm going to get it done. I am going to get it done. But welcome everyone to the Business Plugs Mixer. My name is Linda Murray Bullard. They call me the Business Plug. And I'm here to plug you in to my number one NASDAQ mentor. You are going to get... She is beautiful. She is beautiful. She's like, we talk like sisters, honey. We talk. We've been enjoying our relationship. I've been on her show, and this is me her being on mine. And I want you to ask questions. Go ahead and like and share and subscribe. Hit the bells to make sure you find out when the Business Plugs Mixer come on. This is business conversations by business people for business people. And so my goal is to uplift you, for you to learn something new, for you to think about some things. And so this is how we do it. We do it on the Business Plugs Mixer. Every Sunday, I say every Sunday, comes on Sundays at 7. Not every Sunday, but Sundays at 7 is where we bring fabulous people on, like my guest today. Before I introduce her, before I let her in, I want to tell you two things. The two things that keeps me out of trouble with my team is I need to tell you that if you're looking for government contracts, I'm helping businesses find government contracts. But before you even start looking for the contracts, I'm helping you to prepare your business, position your business so that you can get government contracts, so that you can get more money flowing into your business consistently. So that's what we're doing, helping businesses find government contracting. Second to that, on October the 11th is save the date. If you have a business idea you've been sitting on, and you know something has been keeping in your nagging you need to start it. Well, guess what? October the 11th, I am helping businesses form their foundation using the Kaufman Fast Track program, which is a globally renowned program that's evidence-based, that teaches business owners how to start businesses properly. That's what we're doing. Fast Track program, 8-week course. We're going to go at your pace, getting that business out of your head and into your life. That's what we're doing. So with those already said and done, those are my announcements. I would like all of you to welcome my guest to the stage. Meet Dr. Sev. Dr. Sev, hey, honey.
Hi, thank you so much for having me, Linda.
Well, thank you for coming on. I had to introduce him to my NASDAQ mentor, the person that's got me mentoring because you did so well at what you did.
Oh, thank you so much for those nice words.
Absolutely. So tell them, who is Dr. Sev? And if I don't say it right, then please don't hold it against me. This mouth and this man are not connected. But introduce yourself by telling them what you do and how you do it.
Okay, so I am a financial educator and coach. And one of the main things I do, well, I have two audiences. I work with women who are 40 plus because I want to help them manage their money. They may be recovering financially, or they may be in a place where they're thinking, oh my gosh, I'm 40. I'm 50. I need to do something. So I help them replace money stress with clarity and confidence by helping them create a values-based financial plan. I also work with corporations. I go in and I do financial education workshops.
Oh, wonderful. That is so needed. That is so. How did you get into this? How did you start doing this?
I just had a natural affinity for money and talking about money. Every church that I've ever been in, I've been tagged as someone to be on the financial community. I didn't know what that meant. I just knew I had a natural affinity for money. In fact, my dad put me on his bank account when I was 15 years old. Okay. So, and I'm not the oldest child. So I've just always had that bent towards money. And I actually ended up being an accountant in corporate America. One of my teachers told me, you need to be an actuary. I think that's what it's called.
Yeah.
Because you're so good with numbers.
Mm.
But anyway, I ended up, teaching personal finance at churches, whichever church I went to. And then when the pandemic hit, I started talking with people and realized, you know what, this could be a career. This could be something that I do intentionally.
Yes.
And so I formed my business at that time and really started focusing on how I can really help women understand that it's never too late to rebuild their finances. And then with my experience going through divorce late life and rebuilding my finance, I want to help women have that hope that I had when I was in that place.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I just put your link in the chat for the comment section for anyone watching this. So what does that lead them to?
Okay, so I am putting together a group coaching program. There's only going to be 10 in this go round. There are going to only be 10 seats, and it is based on my GRACE, GRACE, fundamentals.
Okay.
And we're going to be talking through growth and grounding. We're going to be looking at our self-compassion, money confidence, visualization. We're going to be starting there. That's the G. And then there's the reality and roadmap, where we're going to focus on budgeting and debt. Then there's the A for align and automate. We're going to be focusing on systems and savings. There's a C for credit and capital, where we're going to be talking through credit repair, teaching you how to read your credit reports. We're going to be talking investing basics. And then there's the E for execute and expand. At the end of the session, you are going to have a 90-day milestone checklist and a roadmap to get you on your way to whatever goal that you have. And then at the end of the program, you can choose to go into our no cost group coaching program, where you just come in and it's more many to many, where you're going to be interacting with other people who've gone out of the program. You're going to be interacting with me and any guests, and it's no cost to you inside of the coaching group, and that's going to be on the school platform.
I love that. I love that. And so GRACE fundamentals, and I put those words in the chat so they can see them. So GRACE fundamentals is going to help people to get, because that's the thing, right? People aren't able to, like, they get the money, those that are getting money, but then what do you do with it, right?
Yeah.
Because I posted today about, getting a $600,000 contract doesn't mean you go shopping.
Okay, let's talk about it. Okay.
Yeah,
Sometimes as business people, it's more than just the passion for what you do. It's having the foundation and the fundamentals, because if you don't really understand those, you can go out of business quickly. And it's not that even when you understand it, you can't go out of business, but it takes you much further. Because I think the last statistics I read said most businesses go out of business after 5 years, small business. And it's not because we're not good at what we do. Sometimes we just don't know how to market ourselves. We don't understand the financials, the basic things that we need to have. We can't get funding because our books are not in order. There are just so many things that if we understood money, and we will be able to go further. And here's the thing too, if we don't get our personal finance together, it is very unlikely that we'll get our business finance together.
Oh Lord. Okay? Yeah, absolutely.
So it's very important that we understand the basics of money, and the mindset that's driving our decisions around money is very, very key. Because understanding money and working with money, it's more than the numbers. Because how many times do we hear people say, well, if I had more money, I'll be able to do X, Y, Z. And then you get more money, but you're still in the same place.
And you still need to do X, Y, Z.
Yes. Or you say, if I won the lotto, I'll be able to do that. But how many lotto winners still have their money? to debt.
5 years. They said the maximum, the most people that win the lottery are broke in 5 years.
Yes, yes. And that's because the fundamentals and the mindset hasn't changed. Because wherever you go, there you are.
Absolutely.
So not understanding the mindset. What caused me to spend the way I spend?
Absolutely.
It's not you're bad. You're not bad with money. You just need to understand what's driving me to make the decisions that I make. And once you understand that, then you can kind of put some things in place that can help you. So when you get to that place, you're saying, red flag, let me step back. What do I need to think about to make those decisions?
Absolutely. I can remember one of my clients telling me, Miss Linda, I have got to come up with a better plan. He is adorable. He is adorable. But I have him now doing contracts. So he's getting in all kinds of money, And he was like, I need to go have a conversation with the bank. And we were like, the class members and I were telling him that they have safeguards to help you. To distribute that money once it gets in, because that's the thing. Most of us just we have one account, and praise you, Lord, let's not be the personal account. If you have a business, it should be a business account, but we have a business account set up. But even if you have a business account set up, there may still need to be another layer of layering in order to pay things correctly.
Yeah. And let's talk about even cash flow. When you're in a business, that's one of the things that push a business to success or starve a business. Because let's say you have a product-based business and all of your money pretty much come in at the end of the year, it doesn't mean go on vacation. Because in June or maybe May, you have to buy products or raw material to build the products to sell at the end of the year. So cash flow is so important that you understand what's coming in and what do I need to do with that so it sustains me throughout the year. So it sustains my business throughout the year.
Absolutely.
So those are little
right there, right? Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're making a great point. I love that, because the thing I find, most people think that business is linear. And they think I'm going to make this the same amount of money every month in, month out. But in reality, we know that business is cyclical.
Yes.
And you have cycles, which means you need to know how to stretch that money to go over those down cycles, right?
Yeah. Peaks and valleys, right? Peaks and valleys.
Yeah, absolutely. So I love that you said that. I love that you said that, understanding cash flow. So when my business owners are going to get money, because, funding, capital, all the things, the 3 forms that they insist that they know of is the cash flow statement, their profit and loss statement, and their balance sheets. So can you speak to those, why those are necessary?
Yeah. So the balance sheet, and I'm pulling back now from my accounting days, if I can remember accounting. But the balance sheet pretty much tells you where you are in terms of your assets and liability. Where are you right now? How much assets do you have? If you were to sell those assets, would they cover your liabilities? And those liabilities could be debt, could be a loan from Big Mama. It could be a loan from the bank. The assets could be your maybe some products that you have in the warehouse. It could be cash. It could be anything. So it really just tells you, what are my assets or what are my liabilities? And what was the other one you asked?
And the other was the profit and loss statement.
Yeah, the profit and loss statement really tells you how well did you do in whatever cycle. So it may be profit and loss for the month, it may be for the year, whatever period you're using to create your profit and loss statements. So it's telling you, this is the revenue I brought in, because a lot of people, when they make revenue, they think that's profit. It's not. So when you have revenue coming in, you're going to have some expenses that offset that revenue. And what's left is, it could be your loss or it could be your profit. And sometimes you see people on social media and they're talking about, oh, I'm a $7 million, $7 million business. Is it $7 million in profit or $7 million in revenue?
That's it.
And how much expense do you need to offset that revenue? Because it could be 7 million in revenue, but your expense is 6.999999 million.
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
it's not about how much you're making, is what's left over after you've paid the salaries, you paid for the software, you've paid for the government fees, you paid for all those things. We have to make sure we're looking at those. And in doing that, we also need to look at our profit margin.
Absolutely.
Because even before we can get to the profit and loss statement, we need to look at our profit margin. Just because at Halloween or Thanksgiving or Christmas, everybody's selling and going on sale doesn't mean you need to, because your profit margins may not support that.
Exactly.
So you have to look at, what is the cost of my product? What does it cost to produce this? And there are lots of costs. There are fixed costs, there's variable costs, all those costs go into that. And then if I sell this, because it cost me $10, if I sell it at $15, can I live on $5? Can my business continue with the difference, which is $5? So all those things are things we need to consider as we're looking at our businesses.
I love that. And I thank you for explaining that to us, because a lot of times most businesses just want to sell something. They don't want to know. They don't want to get that deep in the weeds when it comes to financials, but it's the blood to their business, right?
Yeah. Some people, they're good at something and they just I don't want to know. People tell me that. I really want to know the numbers. I'm good at this. I'll let somebody else handle the numbers. Well, you don't have to get into the weeds of the numbers, but you need to know your numbers. And here's why. Read the paper. How many people, the buck stopped here with me as a business owner?
Exactly.
And how many business owners are in trouble legally because they didn't want to know the numbers? So it helps that we know what it is that is on our books. And even if we don't understand it fully, ask lots of questions and know enough to understand if your business, is my business protected? Am I in red territory? Am I a threat? Is the IRS going to come into my business? All those things, to consider those things, know enough to be able to protect your business.
Absolutely. Because the thing about it is, at the end of that tax form, your signature is saying, I am responsible for this.
Yes.
You're agreeing that this is you and it's true and it's everything on it. You're saying by signing that this all the statements are true, even if you don't know. And that's the thing is, I think the first year or two, people need to actually do their own accounting just so they can become familiar.
Yes.
All the different, because a lot of times people are like, well, my cousin will handle it. And you'll look in the news and you'll see where celebrities' cousins and this person and their friends and whatever was the accountant. But now it's time. Where's Wesley Snipes? Go ask Wesley. Like, what happened to your taxes? Well, my cousin, my this, my that. So I think the onus is on business owners, that you have to govern yourself when it comes to your finances. You need to know at least enough to understand what those 3 reports say.
Yeah. And going back to even personal finance, if we look at those studies, studies show that 42% of Americans don't have an emergency savings fund. And 40% couldn't cover a $1,000 unexpected expense with cash or savings. And that's from a study done by US News World Report. So that shows that there's some missing pieces, and there are missing gaps in our money puzzle, right? And that's one of the things I do as a personal finance educator and coach, is I help clients identify what those missing pieces are. What are those missing gaps? And so I can help them build a strong plan to move forward. And you know what? Moving forward doesn't mean that all of a sudden everything is going to be okay. For some people, moving forward may mean 5 years. For some, 2 years, for some, maybe a few months. But the fact is, understanding where the gaps are, what are the puzzles, what are the pieces of the puzzle that's missing? And then how can I put that together? Do I have a plan to do that and work with that? And then accountability to continue to stay forward. Because if you look at Google, you have lots of information on Google.
Absolutely.
There's a whole plethora of information on the internet. Talk about Chat GPT and all of those. You can go on there and find things.
Right.
But what makes you stay accountable? And what is the knowledge? And how, do you know those things are right though? They may sound good,
I
but are they
know.
right? So working with a professional will help you to align what you're seeing,
Hmm.
align your values with what it is that you want to do, and kind of provide you some kind of guidance. Because we'll never
Yes,
tell you what to do with your money. It's your money. We'll never tell you what to do with it, but we'll
absolutely.
give you some guidance. And then you take the reins because you have to live with the decision. But we're here. So take advantage of us and let us help you do what you want to do, that you say you value. Let's help you bring it to fruition.
I love that. And so if you could just think about no specifics, but if you could think about three things that you see happen over and over and over before their clients get to you.
Mm. I think maybe one of them is underestimating how much they're spending.
Mm,
They're, oh, it's just $20, it's just $5. And so they underestimate how much is really going out.
mm,
That's one of the things. I think another thing is fear
mm.
of, if I confront my numbers, then I'm going to have to do something about it.
Yeah,
It,
yeah,
it's like anything else in life, right? There are certain things that we don't want to confront because then we have to put in the work, and we may not be mentally, we may not get the space to do the
yes.
work. So we don't want to face that. And you said three things.
Hmm.
I would say maybe another thing is that people have more money than they think they do.
Mm,
They're always, you can always find leaks. You can always find holes in your budget, in your spending. Because again, it goes back to that underestimating
hmm.
what's coming in, what's going out. And,
Right.
and, and so, there's a statistic, I think it's 63%. I can't remember. It's been a while since I looked at it, of people at the end of the month say, no, I got paid, but I don't know where my money went.
It's like saying through your fingers, right? It just,
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
just
And it doesn't
goes.
mean you're bad with money. You just don't have a system in place
Creating a
to
system.
to process what's coming in and what's going out. And once you get
Yeah,
that system in place, it's not going to be immediate fix, but at least you can start identifying areas that you need to work on to, get to the goals that you decided that you want to have.
absolutely. And I think that's where you come in having those conversations. Because a lot of times people haven't had a long-term conversation, right? They're
Mhm.
just trying to get through the month.
Yeah.
And they're just praying that they have more money than they do month.
Yeah. Yeah.
But that's surviving.
Yeah.
And so coming to see you will help them to create a path toward thriving.
Yeah. Yeah. Because I mean, it worked for me. And I'm not here to tell you I'm a millionaire, multi-millionaire, but I was able to walk away from my corporate job
Mm,
right at 62, not because I'm a multi-millionaire, but because I had things in place where I could comfortably walk away. And I
yes.
know I always say on podcasts, I want to protect my little, my little retirement money. But I don't want people to think, okay, that means she's tight, everything is tight. No, it's
Mm,
not. And I did not do anything, outlandish or big thing. I just did steady, small, consistent
mm,
changes, steady, small, consistent shifts to get to where I am today.
uh,
So I want people to understand that it doesn't mean you have to change your lifestyle. Maybe instead of eating out every day, maybe eat out half of the month.
yeah,
Just make some shifts, because I don't believe in long-term sacrifice. I believe
yeah,
we can do short-term sacrifices to get to where we need to get to, and it will pay off. Because if you keep in mind, this is a short-term thing. I'm doing this because 5 years from now, I don't want to be in this place. I'm going to sacrifice. I'm not going to go on the vacation this year. I'm going to do this. I'm not going to do XYZ. I'm going to do this other thing. So 5 years from now, I'm not constantly on a roller coaster of get paid, no money left, get paid, no money left. And for the most part, you make enough money. For some of us, you
yeah,
make enough money. I
yeah,
mean, there are outliers where people don't make enough, and that's a different conversation. But for those who make enough money, in six figures, some of us high six figures,
Yeah.
but we stay broke.
Yeah.
Why is that? Let's examine that to see why that is.
I can remember one of my business owners told me, he said, I didn't know I was making six figures until I got to the tax office. I'm like, well, that's not the place you want to learn.
No.
you don't, you don't want to learn that you're at six figures at your tax office. No, that's not a good sign. That's not a good sign at all. He's like, I was like, where did it go? Because he didn't have a system in place, right?
Yeah, and that's easy to happen, and I don't want people to take that as bashing or shaming or any of that. I just want you to realize the things that can trip us up and understand that, okay, I've identified that this is the thing that trips me up. Now, what do I do about it?
Absolutely.
And get a plan in place to address that.
And I think that's the thing, because a lot of business owners that I know get the money, spend the money, get the money, spend the money, get the money, spend the money. And they're not really thinking about, I had this guy does security, and he said, my accountant messed me up, and now I got to pay all this money, and the taxes are just eating me up. Well, the taxes started a year ago. Right?
So it's easy to blame somebody else for our lack of accountability, right?
Yeah. And I'm like, no. What you have to do is out of every dollar, put your 15 to 25% somewhere else, because you know what tax bracket you're in. Yeah. Pull that money out, call that money out. So that way that money's just waiting. All you're doing is just writing the check. The money's already there. He said, you know what? I've never thought about that. Yeah. And most people don't.
Yeah, and something as simple as that, and that's why it helps to work with a professional. I'm not a tax professional. I did have a tax business at one point, and then people got on my nerves so much. I'm like, they want to spend what they want to spend and still have a refund.
They want it all.
They want to spend it all and still, I need to get them a refund. That's not how it works. I don't look good in stripes, and I don't look good in orange. So
your black is not the new orange.
So I'm like, no, I think I'm going to go do something that's less have a headache.
Yeah, exactly.
But again, those little things really does help, so that at the end of the year, you're not floundering or you're not panicking. Because the worst thing you want is the IRS to come and go into your account and take everything that you have, take your house, take whatever, especially if you don't have the right, corporate setup. I mean, the right business setup. They can come in and take everything, or, whoever your debtor is can come in and take everything. So, they're just these little nuances that if we can understand them working with a professional, and again, I'm not a tax professional, but if you come to me and there's something that's beyond my purview, I can pass it on to people in my referral network, to help you with those things.
Absolutely. And I tell people to go, before they even get started with the business, go connect with their local SBDC, their small business development centers, because they offer free advice, right? They can help you figure it out. And they are attached to, most times they're attached to a lawyer that gives a different benefit depending on, where you are and who is the agency. But I tell them to go there because they can help unclutter some of that stuff. And then once they get all the generic information, because that's what it is, it's the generic information. Once they want more customized information, they come and see a person like you who can help them customize it to their specific needs. And so going from generic to specific, very specific. But those are free resources that I encourage all business owners. You can go to sba.gov and put in your zip code under where it says get local support, local help. You put your zip code in, you can find out where the one is in your area. But once you got all that fundamental stuff out of the way and you're ready to get really customized, you need to click the link that we have here and make an appointment to get on the list, the wait list. So let's talk about the wait list that you have, Dr. Sev.
Yeah, so the wait list is for the group coaching program. And again, there are going to be only 10 seats for this go round. And we're going to be using that GRACE framework to walk you through for those 5 weeks. It's going to be live coaching sessions on those 5 weeks. And then we're going to move into the community where if you have additional questions, we can address those as we go along. And you'll have homework. Okay. You have homework. There are going to be worksheets. There are going to be, different things. We're going to have some interactive exercises because we want to know. It's not going to be a lecture. We don't want it to be a lecture. Yes, I'm going to be sharing some things, but I want you to engage with the content so that I find that when we do that, you become more invested in the in whatever it is you're doing, because then your hand is working, your mind is working, your everything. You're not just sitting there just taking everything in your ears.
Right.
You're using other senses to engage. So that's what the program is going to be like.
Love that.
Right now, this link is only for the wait list. So we're going through and collecting the names of those emails of those who are interested. And then once we have those, we're going to send out to you. You're going to be the first to know about the program. It is not expensive. You do not have to mortgage your child or your home, but we'll send information. If you get on the list, you are you're not obligated to get on, to sign up for the actual program. So, if you're thinking, well, I'm not sure, get on the list, get the information, and then make a decision if you want to continue. Because again, you're under no obligation to sign up for the actual program after you get on the wait list.
I love that. So as we come to a close, please tell me one thing you would like anyone viewing this interview to glean from it.
Oh, so much. I think I want people to understand that shaming and blaming has no place in your financial picture. A lot of us, we buy things, we regret that we bought it, and we feel ashamed. And, if you feel ashamed, you feel ashamed. That's your feeling. You feel what you feel. But I would encourage you to turn that shame into something else. Turn that shame into action. Because I don't want you to feel ashamed. There's none of us go through life without making financial mistakes.
Absolutely.
Okay, none of us. So I want you to turn that shame into something more productive, because what shame does, it keeps our mouths closed, and we don't share because we feel like people will judge us if we talk about the fact that we spend $5,000 on something and know we can't pay our rent or our mortgage.
Yes.
So that shame bounds us. And so talk about it. Find somebody who you can talk with about, I made this thing. Maybe you can reverse it.
Yeah.
And even if you can't reverse it, what are some things that you can do to recover? So I don't want you to allow shame and regret to keep you bound. Talk with someone about that thing that you did, that money misstep, because I don't like to call it mistake.
Yeah.
It's a misstep.
Yes.
So now how can we correct that? So I would encourage anybody who's listening to know that you're not alone. There are hundreds of thousands of millions, I would dare say, who are in the same position that you're in. So there's no reason to bury your head in shame. I'll share this too. The statistics is growing for the number of people who are committing suicide because they are in debt.
Have mercy.
And being in debt is a short-term short-term thing. So I don't want you to make a long-term decision based on a short-term position.
Absolutely.
So, there's just so much I want to share with you guys. I mean, I hope you hear my heart and the passion that I have to help us really understand our money and understand the power that we have if we understand how our story, our mindset, the things we were told, and the names we were called, and what we saw our parents doing, what the movies tell us, how that impact how we manage our money. And all of that can be reversed. Is it easy? Maybe not, because it depends on what it is. So I want you to have hope that it is possible to reverse wherever you are.
Absolutely. I agree. I could not agree more. Thank you so much for that. Thank you and if you are thinking of, if you have suicidal thoughts and you need some help, you talk to somebody, you can dial 988. That is the suicide hotline, and there will be someone there to talk to you. It is a temporary problem if you're in debt. it doesn't last for long. They say that the majority of people who are in debt will be out of it once they put the things in place to work their way out of it. Is the majority of them are actually 18 months at most able to get out of it. So it's a temporary situation. Contact her if you would like her to support you in getting your guidance and getting your plan together. And also, if you would like to attend the October 11th class, I just put the link in there for that. And at this time, we're going to close. But my name is Linda Murray Bullard. They call me the business plug. You've just plugged into real money talk. Like she told you as plainly as she could, how you can get your money situation back on point. So go ahead and click on the link where her name is, make the appointment to get on the wait list, and then follow her. She's on all the popular website, social media sites. Follow her on LinkedIn. I know she's over there. She's on Facebook. I know she's over there. So follow her and connect with her and let her know you saw this interview. And until next Sunday, 7 p.m. Eastern Time, my name is Linda Murray Bullard. They call me the business plug, and I'll see you then. Have a great week, everyone.